The Atlanta Braves avoid disaster on Tuesday and get an exciting walk-off win and a 6-5 victory over the Philadelphia Phillies. We'll break down everything from that entertaining game on Tuesday in this episode of Lockedon Braves. So let's get into it.
You are Locked On Braves, your daily Atlanta Braves podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, and welcome back to Locked On Braves, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, where we cover your favorite Atlanta sports teams each and every day. I am your host, Jake Mastroianni. You can follow me on Twitter at shortstopball. You can check out my bio there to see where I am covering the game of baseball, including your Atlanta Braves in written form over at tomahawktake.com. Also, make sure you follow the podcast on Twitter at LockedOn_Braves. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to the Locked On Braves podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe to us on YouTube as well. Continue to send me those comments, feedback in that comment section there on YouTube and on Twitter as well. Really do appreciate all the feedback that I hear from the listeners. And thanks for making Locked On Braves your first listen each and every day. We post episodes daily, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and are free and available on all platforms. Today, we're going to be talking about that walk-off win on Tuesday to avoid almost sudden disaster. We'll talk about that new look offense that continues to rack up the hits. Will it continue on Wednesday against Ranger Suarez to help the Braves get on a roll? We'll discuss that as well. But let's jump into Tuesday's game. The Braves win 6-5 in walk-off fashion. A William Contreras single drives home Acuna. A little bit of help from the Phillies, and the Braves get the win. This came after Kenley Janssen blew the game in the top of the ninth inning, giving up a 2-run homer to Bryce Harper. We'll have a little bit more to say about that later on. We talk about the bullpen struggles for the Atlanta Braves. But getting into the bottom of the ninth, Dansby Swanson, a 3-hit game, leads off the ninth with a double the other way into the right field corner to get things started. He moves to third on a wild pitch. So then part of the help that the Phillies were giving the Braves there. And then Acuna brings him home on a sacrifice fly that drops in between Roman Quinn and Nick Castellanos. Very similar to what we saw in the Braves outfield on Monday night that gifted the Phillies a couple of runs. So Acuna ends up at second. Dansby scores to tie the game. And then William Contreras comes up, hadn't had a hit all night, and gets the walk-off hit, scoring Acuna for the exciting and dramatic win. And a point that Grant McCauley made on the postcast, which you haven't listened to that, go check it out on Locked On Sports Atlanta, is that this was a win or a potential win for the Phillies that could have sent them on a real run and got them really hot, because they got the exact same record as the Braves. They're looking for that spark as well, something to get them going. And that home run by Bryce Harper, you saw the emotion that he had, and it was a big hit and a big moment, and you understand that. That felt like an opportunity for the Phillies to really take off and go on a run and a type of win, a comeback win against a division rival that could really set them off in a right direction. But on the flip side of that, with the Braves coming back and stealing defeat back from the Phillies, hopefully that gives the Braves some momentum, and hopefully that slows down the Phillies a little bit. So that was a very important swing in momentum, not just for that game, but maybe for the rest of the series and maybe over the next couple of weeks, that can send the Braves on a good path and hopefully the Phillies on a bad one. So look, a win they had to get, the Braves, and they did get it. It came with a little bit of stress and high stress, and should not have come down to that, but they did pick up the win, and that's all that really matters right now. But I wanted to talk about the offense in this game, and we talked about the new look lineup on Tuesday's podcast and how Snicker shook things up a little bit. They had 11 hits on Monday, 14 hits on Tuesday. So if my math is correct, that's 25 hits over the last 2 games with this new look lineup. Double-digit hits in back-to-back games for the first time in over a month. Now, they haven't scored a ton of runs off of that, although they got 6 on Tuesday, which you'll certainly take that. Just 2 extra base hits on Tuesday, 2 on Monday with all those hits. Again, I'm not trying to bash what the offense is doing. I'm telling you, I'm excited about where this offense is going, but you're still seeing some things that need to be improved. You're still seeing some things that are holding this offense from really breaking out. I love all the hits. Would love to see a little bit more extra base hits. Would love to see players taking the extra base more often. And right now, the Braves are a little bit too much station to station, you know, single, setting up, and nobody going first to third. And look, the Braves don't have a lot of burners on the base path. They don't have a lot of great base runners in general. Acuna, Swanson, Albies, those are your better base runners. Everybody else is pretty much station to station on the base pass, and that's holding the Braves back a little bit right now. But look, I'll take all the hits. And again, this was meant to be a positive. I like to see where the offense is going and the adjustments they are making and getting all these hits. But there's still some things they need to work on in order to continue to string some hits together, put some runs on the board. Ozzie thrown out stealing twice. I love the aggressiveness, but why against the best catcher in all of baseball? That to me, I don't understand. Had to strike him out, throw him out where he got thrown out. Another caught stealing later in the game where he was out by a ton. So again, I like the aggressiveness on the base pass, just maybe not the right person to run on in this game. Some amazing throws by JT Realmuto to cut down Ozzie Albies. 13 strikeouts on Tuesday. That's still too many, and especially against just 2 walks against a Phillies pitching staff that walks a lot of batters. So that ratio needs to even out a little bit. But again, the hits are a positive sign and good to see. Like to see it. 11 hard hit balls in this game. Again, great signs. Good to see that as well. Would still like to see them change their approach in 2 strikes. We've been talking about that on here for a while now. Got to be able to protect better at the plate. Taking too many called third strikes, 4 of them on Tuesday. Look, umpires are not good at their job, and it feels like for whatever reason the strike zone has gotten bigger this year. They're calling more stuff off the plate. He was calling the high strike on Tuesday. You can't put these at bats in the umpire's hand if it's a close pitch, and all these called strikes that I'm talking about were very close pitches. You just can't put it in the umpire's hand. And I heard Brian Jordan talk about it the other night, and I think he's absolutely right. You can't allow the umpire to dictate your outcome on some of these close pitches. And they were all strikes too. These forward called strikeouts on Tuesday, they were strikes. Look, if it's close, you got to be swinging the bat. There's just not enough at bats in this lineup where I see players protecting with 2 strikes. Would like to see that approach continue to change and adjust. But going back to Tuesday night, the 6, 7, 8, 9 hitters in this lineup got on base 11 times, 9 hits and 2 walks. And that set up Acuna for 3 RBIs. So great to see the bottom of the order get going. Austin Riley, a part of that. He had a couple more hits, back-to-back multi-hit games for him. Swanson and Albies had 3 hits each. Ozzie Albies on a 7-game hit streak. So the bottom of the lineup, doing a great job, and that's continuing to be the theme over the past month or so. It's at the bottom of the order when the Braves win, typically is doing a great job getting on base, setting up Acuna and those at the top of the order. And Marcell Ozuna, only 1 hit on Tuesday, but it extended his 11-game hit streak. So that's certainly great to see him continuing to rack up the hits. Travis d'Arnaud was the only starter who didn't have a hit on the night, as again, the team racked up 14 base hits. And then Matt Olson, look, he's still not quite there yet. He's not barreling up the baseball consistently enough, but had a big home run that gave the Braves the lead right back after the Phillies tied it up in the top of the 6th. So that was great to see from Matt Olson. Hopefully he can get going. We'd like to see, obviously, more home runs out of him. So overall, again, I know there's some things in there I'm being kind of harsh on that I would like to see the Braves improve on, but overall, I thought the offense approach is getting better, and shaking up the lineup, I think, is a big part of that. Hopefully we can see that trend continue and the Braves continue to rack up hits, and hopefully it starts to lead to more runs. All right, offense wasn't the only thing on Tuesday that won the game. You had some great pitching from Max Fried and some shakiness from the bullpen. I'll tell you about that next. With spring in the air, it's a time of renewal and personal growth. and professionally as your business grows. LinkedIn Jobs is here to make it easier to find the people you want to talk to faster and for free. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. Then add your job to the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. And did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonmlb. That's linkedin.com/lockedonmlb to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Max Fried got the start on Tuesday and was very good for the Braves. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 walks, 2 earned, 5 strikeouts. He was cruising through 5 innings. In fact, I thought maybe he had a chance to go 7 or 8 in this one. Ran into a roadblock in the 6th inning, which I'll touch on in a second. He did give up a run in the 2nd inning, but that was after a Gene Segura broken bat infield single hit at a 71.3 miles per hour. And Dansby and Austin were out there just trying to avoid the shrapnel flying across the field. So that was a bit unfortunate. And then that run came around to score, and that gave up the first run of the game by Max Fried. And then that 6th inning is really where he just hit a roadblock. Back-to-back doubles by Alec Bowman, Bryce Harper. Harper with a hustle double into second. You could see him look up. The ball was a little bit in the gap between left and center field, but once you saw Ozuna going after that ball, he really turned it on, knowing he was going to test the arm of Ozuna. It was a pretty easy hustle double for Bryce Harper. Then Max Fried got Castellanos a strikeout for the 2nd out of the inning, and he thought, okay, he's just going to get out of this inning and move on and continue to be able to go further and deeper into this game. They intentionally walked Segura to get to Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber had a great 9-pitch at bat that ended in a walk to load the bases. And now you're starting to get a little bit worried about Max Fried. Snitker comes out with Real Muto coming up, and Real Muto has a really good history against Max Fried, and Max Fried at 95 pitches at this point. Snitker decides to leave in Max Fried, and he gets the big strikeout to end the inning. Thought this was absolutely the right choice. Look, I talked about it again on the postcast. If you want to go listen to it, Max Fried is the best pitcher on this Braves team, bar none. I mean, relievers, starters, Max Fried's the best pitcher on this team. He is who I want in the game at that moment. And maybe it doesn't always work out, but Max Fried's the pitcher I want on the mound for that moment. So I thought it was the absolute right decision. Glad to see him get out of that, escape that jam, get through 6 innings. So a big moment there for Max Fried. Again, I hate it came to that, especially knowing what happened later in the game. I wish he could have had an easier 6th inning and gone 7th, 8th, but he did, struggle. And credit to the Phillies hitters who are having some really good at bats in this series, taking some good walks, fouling off some tough pitches. So, I mean, look, there's 2 sides to this. They're good hitters. Max Fried's a good pitcher. And I thought the Phillies have had some really good at-bats in these first 2 games. But Max Fried gets the big out there, escapes that jam, turns it over to the bullpen. And this is where I kind of want to finish on this game. Bullpen has been struggling a little bit as of late, or at least they haven't been as shut down lately as they were in the first month of the season. Will Smith has a 4.70 ERA and 1.57 WHIP in May. Kenley Janssen has a 4.66 ERA and a 1.14 WHIP in May. That WHIP is still really good, obviously, but the ERA is inflated. AJ Minter has still been great, although I'll say in this game, he gave up a couple of hits in the 8th inning, and while it didn't turn out to be anything and never really seemed like a serious threat against AJ, it did set up the Phillies to have the top of their order up in the 9th inning, and obviously that gave an opportunity for Bryce Harper to come to the plate and do what he did. But for me, it's the walks that are killer. And again, I feel like I talk about it on every episode now, and I know I sound like a broken record at this point, but the walks are the killer for me, and it was a killer for the Braves on Tuesday as well. Smith has walked 5 batters in 7 2/3 innings this month. Jansen's walked 4 batters in 9 2 innings this month. That's way too many to be giving up free passes, especially with all the close games the Braves have been playing late. To give up free passes, that can't be happening, and it's happening far too frequently. The Braves are one of the worst teams in baseball in issuing walks, and it's been a problem spot for them all season long. Will Smith walked Roman Quinn, the number 9 hitter. The second night in a row, the Braves have walked the number 9 hitter, and it's led to a run. Roman Quinn came around to score in the 7th inning. That cut it to a 1-run game. Again, the walks, but especially the walks to the bottom of the order, are what really are frustrating me from this Braves pitching staff. Not just the bullpen, the starters as well, but it's what's really frustrating me is that you keep walking these 7, 8, 9 hitters in these lineups, turning it over for the top of the team's order, and it's leading to runs and it's leading to big innings. That has to stop. That can't keep happening. And it does. Again, 2 nights in a row, a Braves pitcher has walked Roman Quinn, who's batting under 200, is the number 9 hitter for the Phillies. No offense. I know he's a major league player, major league hitter. He's not a very good hitter. And you continue to walk him, and it leads to runs. He's a very fast runner. That's what his main tool is, and that arm that he's showing off in center field, which is becoming a weapon as well. But you walk the number 9 hitter, a fast hitter. He comes around to score, and it cuts the deficit to 1, making things a little bit tighter for Minter and Janssen and not giving much wiggle room to those guys. So that's a big walk there. Then Kenley Janssen walking Alec Bohm on 4 pitches ahead of Bryce Harper. You kind of just knew that was setting up something big for Bryce Harper, who loves to kill the Braves. He had a lot of really good swings against the Braves on Tuesday. He jumped on a first pitch cutter ball that was supposed to be away, runs back inside into a left-handed hitter's happy zone, and he absolutely destroyed that baseball to give the Phillies the lead, and Janssen blows the save. So again, not a great night for the bullpen. Bullpen has not been great over the last couple of weeks, specifically. Not sure it's the overwork by these guys. They've been in a lot of close games over the past week plus. Perhaps that has something to do with it, but they just have not been as sharp. I'm not worried about them on down the road. I still think it's going to be a very good bullpen, but need to point out it just has not been as rock solid lately as they can be, should be, and have been in the past. Hopefully they are solid, and hopefully they're not needed on Wednesday as Charlie Morton takes on Ranger Suarez. I'll talk about why the Braves are going to come out victorious in this one next. It will be Ranger Suarez versus Charlie Morton on Wednesdays. The Braves look to go up a game in this series. Suarez lasted only 3 innings his last time out, which was against the Dodgers. He has given up 3 earned runs in 4 of his last 5 outings. He pitched as a reliever against the Braves earlier last season before the Phillies put him in the rotation. Throws a sinker at 93 miles per hour about 50% of the time, with batters hitting just 218 against that pitch this year. So been a very effective weapon for him. He also throws a changeup at 85 miles per hour, which is his put away pitch. So watch out for that once he gets ahead in the count. As for Morton, I thought he was just okay his last time out. He allowed the leadoff hitter to reach in 4 of 6 innings. Needs to do a better job of that, keeping leadoff base runners off the base paths, having some easier innings, and going deeper into the ball game. Overall, he's been really good in May and been on a great run after a slow start to the season. In his 4 starts in May, he's gone at least 5 innings in all of them and has a 3.27 ERA for the month. So would like to see that continue. Again, Charlie Morton been very good in the month of May. Just keeping the early inning struggles, what we've seen a lot from Charlie this year, avoiding that and keeping the leadoff base runner off the bases. That's what I'll be watching for with Charlie Morton on Wednesday. And then I'm just really excited for the first time in a while to see this offense and see what they can do. Again, been piling up the hits these last 2 games. Hasn't led to a lot of runs yet, although, again, with the 9th inning comeback on Tuesday, they scored 6 runs in that game. You'll certainly take that. But I want to see them continue to rack up the hits, hopefully some more extra base hits, hopefully some better base running to manufacture some more runs, and hopefully it leads to another 6-run game or more. And hopefully they can have a big blowout game and not need the bullpen, who, again, has not been as sharp lately in the back end, especially in a close game. Let's have a stress-free win. I've been asking for one for 2 weeks now, and they haven't given it to me. So hopefully Wednesday is the day that happens. I want to see a crooked number inning. Look, the Braves had several chances on Tuesday. They had a bases loaded, no out situation and got just one run out of that. They had several opportunities on Tuesday to break that game open and not need to use the best guys in the bullpen, but they weren't able to do that. I want to see that happen on Wednesday. You get a chance to step on their throat, do so, keep the foot on the gas pedal, and break this game open. Give me a big crooked number inning, and let's have one of those blowout, easy wins. No more of these stress-free or no more of these stressful late inning games for the Braves relievers. Let's make that happen. Again, I've been asking for it for a week. Hopefully Wednesday is the day, and hopefully the Braves can get on a roll and finish off this series, winning the next 2 games. That will do it for this episode of Locked On Braves. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at LockedOn_Braves. You can follow me at ShortstopBall. Also, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to the Locked On Braves podcast wherever you get your podcast. And please subscribe to us on YouTube as well. And we will talk to you next time.